Everyone worries about retirement, but most people are focused on the wrong things. The biggest retirement mistake isn't a bad stock pick. It's a blind spot that could cost you hundreds of thousands in healthcare alone. And this isn't the only major miscalculation people make. A huge number of us also underestimate our own lifespan, planning for 15 years of retirement when it could easily be 30. We're exposing the real number one mistake, a total lack of realistic planning. We'll break down the biggest underestimations and the psychology behind them. So, what does this lack of planning look like? For millions, it's relying on hope instead of a detailed map for spending, taxes, and major costs. This hope strategy fails against three brutal realities. First, longevity. You will likely live longer than you think, meaning your money must last longer. Second, healthcare. Medicare is not a magic wand. It doesn't cover dental, vision, hearing, or most long-term care, which costs a fortune. Third, inflation. Even at 3%, your money's purchasing power gets cut in half in about 24 years, the length of a common retirement. Failing to account for just one of these can derail your retirement. Ignoring all three is a recipe for disaster. These aren't just simple math errors. So why are we so bad at seeing these risks clearly? The answer is rooted in our own psychology. The first culprit is present bias. Our brains are wired to value immediate rewards over future ones. That $100 today feels more real than saving it for 30 years. This delay is devastating because it forfeits compound interest. You miss decades of your money making money for you, a loss that grows exponentially. But procrastination isn't the only mental trap. What happens when we are saving, but our brains still lead us to make the wrong moves? Behavioral finance identifies several biases that affect retirement. Overconfidence, fear of loss, and herd mentality can cause us to buy high and sell low. Let's see how these underestimations and mental biases translate into concrete, costly mistakes. Are you making any of these? First, leaving free money on the table. Not taking advantage of employer matching contributions, if eligible, is like missing out on a 100% return right away. Second, rating your future. Cashing out or borrowing from retirement accounts costs you penalties and taxes and cripples your long-term compound growth. Third, putting all your eggs in one basket. Over-concentrating in one stock or asset class exposes your entire nest egg to unnecessary risk. Those are major errors during your working years. But the mistakes don't stop once you retire. In fact, they get more complicated. A huge misconception is that your expenses will plummet. While some costs disappear, others like travel, hobbies, and healthcare can rise significantly. This spending surprise is worsened by poor strategy. Without a plan for which accounts to draw from first, you can trigger a massive, unexpected tax bill. And the plan can't just be about money. Many are emotionally unprepared, facing a loss of identity and purpose that's as damaging as a financial shortfall. Remember, we asked how our brains trick us even when we are saving. This is where overconfidence and herd mentality cause us to panic sell at the worst time. So we have underestimations, psychological biases, and tactical errors all working against us. How do they connect to form one single massive mistake? Let's connect the dots. We talked about underestimating longevity. Separately, the fear of market loss pushes many to invest too conservatively in retirement. Now, combine those. When you live to 95, being too safe means your money doesn't outpace inflation. You run out anyway. One mistake magnifies the other. Think about present bias from earlier. That desire for now causes people to skip adding additional contributions to their superannuation today in favor of more cash today. This is the core mistake. It's not one error, but the failure to have a realistic plan that accounts for how these factors, financial, medical, and psychological, interact over time. The biggest retirement mistake isn't picking the wrong fund. It's sleepwalking toward your future without a real integrated plan. A real plan confronts the hard truths. You'll likely live a long time, healthcare will be expensive, and inflation is always a threat. The antidote is action. Calculate your real numbers. Use a detailed retirement calculator that includes projected healthcare costs and inflation rates. Then, automate your good intentions. Set up automatic contributions to get your full employer match and automatic annual increases. This removes present bias. And finally, don't do it alone. A good financial planner acts as a behavioral coach, helping you sidestep emotional decisions and stick to the plan. Your retirement doesn't have to be a gamble. You can avoid the biggest mistake by making one simple choice today. Replace hope with a plan.